What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we have Alabama State's round number 4. I wasn't sure which one it was, but on the left we have Blake playing his Mega Rayquaza Jolteon deck. He actually doesn't play the colors Rayquaza as we saw Connor did. He does play a Giratina, and he does not play the Zoroark line that Connor did. We know Connor did play a 1-1 Zoroark line. Instead, he plays 1 Escape Rope and 1 Switch, and he doesn't play the puzzle times either. He plays the 4 Trainers mode to try to help to get that turn 1 Mega Rayquaza. He plays a Judge. I know Connor didn't play one either, and that's pretty much the differences in their list. But hopefully you enjoyed this list. Give me a second. We'll see the player on the right and see what they're playing. And on the right, we have Jose playing his Seismitoad Giratina deck, and this could be a very interesting matchup because Jose does play the Seismitoad with the Quake Punch, making it where your opponent can't play the item cards, and we know Blake's decks relies a lot on his item cards, and Jose also plays the Giratina EX with the Renegade Pulse, making it where you can't be hurt by Mega Evolutions, but we know that Blake also plays Hex Maniac, so it's going to be weird for sure. Jose also plays the Slowking with the Royal Flash. You can move energy from the active to the bench Pokemon if you flip heads once during a turn, which is pretty interesting. Jose also plays, the Crushing Hammers. He plays, he plays Crushing Hammer, he plays the Enhanced Hammer. He played Puzzle times to reuse the Enhanced Hammers. He plays 4-4 Double Dragon, 2 Muscle Man, and 1 Fighting Fury Belt. I don't know why I can't scroll down. Let's try it one more time, and there we go. Alright, 1 Team Aqua Secret Base, and it's going to be interesting to see, for sure, to see what happens. Can Jose get rid of all of Blake's energy cards and make it where he can't use his Mega Turbo because of Toad Punch? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Hopefully, enjoyed both these deck lists, and let's see what happens in the game right now. Alright guys, here we go. Alabama State's round number 4. Like I said, on the left, we have Blake playing his Mega Rayquaza Jolteon deck. And on the right, we have Jose playing his Seismitoad Giratina deck. And it's going to be interesting to see for sure what happens. Blake could go the Jolteon route, making it where Jose cannot hurt him. But we know Jose does play the Energy Denial cards. Blake also plays the Giratina with Stardust, which is probably going to be the biggest impact of this game, to try to discard all of Jose's energies and probably win that way. We'll have to see what happens, and I don't know how this matchup's going to go. I mean, Blake could just go all out crazy with Mega Rayquaza, try to get a huge knockout turn 2, and then Jose can maybe Energy Denial him. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Who do you want to win? And we see a Shaman for Blake and a Seismitoad for Jose. We see a Seismitoad, Slowpoke, Sycamore discarding a Super Scoop Up. Looks like another Super Scoop Up and a VS Seeker discarding his hand, drawing 7 new cards. And if he finds an energy, I doubt he'll put it down this turn 1, just because you are, you're always scared of a turn 1 Mega Rayquaza knocking out your EX Pokemon on the active spot. Looks like he is eyeballing the Hoopa, and we'll just see pass on a Blake's turn. Let's see what happens. Can he get a turn 1 Mega Rayquaza crazy knockouts? We see a Battle Compressor, going to discard 3 cards out of his deck. It looks like he is eyeballing the Lightning Energy for sure to put an energy in your discard pile, then use Mega Turbo to get it back out onto your Mega Rayquaza. So we see a Battle Compressor, Lightning, and I think a Sycamore. I think that's what the 3 cards are. Blake saying, hey, I don't need the other Battle Compressor anymore. We see a DC attached to the active, a Aegislash coming down, and that makes it where Jose cannot hurt it because it does have its mighty, I think it's called Mighty Shield, or I can't remember. It's something Shield, making it where you cannot be hurt by Pokemon with special energies attached to him, which we know that Jose only plays special energies, which is going to be it's going to be interesting for sure, but we know Jose does play his Hex Maniac, but you can only play Hex Maniac for so many turns. We see a Trainer's Mail coming down for Blake, grabbing the VS Seeker. He could VS Seeker for his Sycamore, just to guarantee the supporter card for the next turn, or maybe go for Judge to disrupt him, and I imagine he will play this VS Seeker, just to get a supporter card out, just in case Seismitoad does punch. We see a Giratina come down, we see a Rayquaza as well, and we'll see a Sky Return for 30. It's going to promote the Giratina. Now, the reason why he promotes the Giratina is there's no real threat. Jose cannot knock out this Giratina. He has 60 HP, and then max Toad can do is 60. So he's not really worried about that. We see Jose has the DCE, but he probably doesn't want to attach to the active Seismitoad because then the energy would just get Stardusted off. And let's see, Jose's going to grab the Lysander. Now, he could Lysander up the Rayquaza and actually punch it for 30, get it stuck in the active spot for maybe a turn or 2. We see a Lysander, probably bringing up the Rayquaza. We see a DC to the active, and we'll see a Quake Punch for 30 damage on a Blake's turn. Let's see what happens. Does he have an an AZ to pick up that Rayquaza or not. We see a Life Center bring up that Giratina. Okay, so double Life Center going on. Shebe drawn up to 6 cards. And can Blake find a Mega Rayquaza just to evolve for the turn? But nope, just to pass on to Jose's turn. Let's see, what does he have? Does he have another VS Seeker? I mean, I don't doubt he wants to play a Lysander. He wants to pick up this Giratina somehow. Double Dragon the energy to the active and pass on to Blake's turn. It looks like Blake is going to see, it looks like maybe an Ultra Ball is going to come down. He is trying to figure out what 2 cards to discard, maybe? Maybe that's what we're seeing right now. That's why maybe contemplating those 3. And it looks like, yeah, we're going to see an Ultra Ball discarding a Sycamore and another Rayquaza. This could get out a Mega Rayquaza if he has a Link. Maybe a Shaman to help draw more cards. And let's see what he decides to go for. I'm not sure. It looks like he is going to go for a Hoopa. Going to use that Scoundrelling. He's going to search for 3 EX Pokemon. Looks like he's going to get a Mega Rayquaza, a Jolteon, and a Shebe, which I do like getting the Jolteon out because it does have free retreat. So you could just always retreat to it or something. We see a Link, a Mega Rayquaza, a Jolteon, Mega Turbo, putting the energy to the active. Alright, so now he can retreat the Rayquaza. It does only have a 1 retreat cost. And we see a Shebe going to draw up to 6 cards. And let's see, can Blake find another energy? I think he already has a DC in his hand. Unless he judged it away or something, if I don't remember. So what he could do is retreat, Stardust, discard that double dragon energy. Looks like we'll see an escape rope off the trainer's mail, maybe? I don't know if he wants to grab the escape rope, though. I think he wants to keep that Giratina in the active spot. You can't grab... I think he's... Wait, maybe he's just trying to decide what to play. Looks like you want to see a Trainer's Mail. Yeah, he didn't use a Trainer's Mail yet. Sorry about that. Trainer's Mail, not going to get anything. And, let's see, what else does Blake have for his turn? I mean, we'll probably see Retreat, and maybe a Stardust, like I said, but you'll see Escape Rope, which is fairly interesting. Like I said, you might want to try to knock out this Giratina while you can. We'll see Retreat until the Jolteon. And can Blake knock out this Toad? We see a DCE, and so Blake is just going to be aggressive. Going to take a knockout this turn with that Escape Rope. Sacred Ash going to shuffle back in 5 Pokemon from his discard pile, but looks like it's just only 1 Pokemon. This Emerald Break will do 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 180 exactly. We see a Sycamore going to discard his hand, draw 7 new cards, and Blake will go up on the prize cards for sure. Alright. So I guess I'm fine with Blake deciding to use an Escape Rope, take a knockout. Take a knockouts while you can. We see like Blake's going to decide what to discard. Imagine Blake's trying to find a Hex Maniac for the next turn to deal with this Giratina. But we see a Emerald Break taking a knockout, and we see Jose promote that Giratina. We see an Ultra Ball discarding a Super Scoop Up and a Skyla. Probably looking for the Slowking if it's in the deck. It looks like Hoopa's going to come down, grabbing the Shebe. And, I think he actually... When he did that, he doesn't have any cards left in his deck. So it looks like he shouldn't go the Shaman by itself. No real reason to grab the Hoopa, I guess. Maybe he doesn't want it to be licensed up and kind of be stalled out. But we'll see a Shebe drawn up to 6. Can Jose find the Slowking is a real question. We'll see a double Dragon into the active. A Crush Hammer. Oh, take 2. And a Tail, so no energy denial. Crush Hammer again. Another Tail, so double Tails off the Crush Hammers. Oh, man. And we see a Puzzle Time in Jose's hand, but I'm not sure if it'll help out or not. I think I see a Zerosic in his hand. Is that a Zerosic? Yeah, it looks like a Zerosic. So if he were to hit a heads on the Crush Hammer, he could have discarded the Lightning, and then you maybe use the Zerosic discarding the DC, sorry, and put Blake at 0 energies on the field, which would be very cool. But we see Sycamore set, going to discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. We see another Crushing Hammer and another 3. Another Crushing Hammer and another 3. That's 4 3s in a row. Whoa, what's going on here? That is pretty crazy. All 4 Crushing Hammers were 3s. I'm like 100% sure. But we see a Chaos Wall doing 100 damage and going to bring that, I think the Rayquaza up to 130. And on to Blake's turn, can he find another Lysander? We'll see a Zerosic. We'll see a Retreat into the Jirachi. Does he have an energy to Stardust? And wow, he does have an energy, and he will Stardust. And that'll put... We saw Jose try to get rid of Blake's energies, but instead Blake gets rid of Jose's energies. We see an Ultra Ball discarding an AZ and something else. Let's see what he decides to get out. He's trying to see how many Pokemon on his bench. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like he is going to go for another Shaman EX, but we're going to see Stardust, and we're going to see 2 energies being discarded this turn. Alright, so Shebe going to drop to 6. We see a Mega Rayquaza coming down. Trainer's Mail, look at the top 4 cards of his deck. Gonna grab the Hex Maniac. Maybe he can use that next turn to knock out the Giratina if he wants to. And let's see, we'll see a Stardust discarding that Double Dragon. It does do 10 damage, and this Jirachi cannot be hurt next turn. And let's see what Jose does. We see an Escape Rope. Blake is going to send in that Jolteon with the Free Retreat, which I do like a lot. Okay, we'll see a retreat into the Seismitoad, and let's see what Jose decides to do. I mean, Blake can take a knockout next turn. He can just retreat, Ember Break, knock out the Seismitoad. We see a Seismitoad with the Fighting Fury Bell come down. AZ, pick up the Shame, put it back down, and Jose will draw up to 6 cards. He does only play one Team Aqua Secret base, so he really can't. It's hard for him to discard the Skyfield. We see a Slowking coming down, but it cannot be really used. And Jose does have the Team Aqua Secret base, making it where Blake has to discard up to 5 Pokemon on his bench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But can Blake find another Skyfield and a Pokemon to take a knockout this turn? We see an Ultra Ball discarding a Sycamore and that Latios. And we see a Shebe coming on down. And I imagine Jose is probably looking for an Enhanced Hammer and or a double puzzle of time to try to get rid of energies off this Mega Rayquaza. But we see a Quake Punch doing 30. And on to Blake's turn, let's see what happens. Can he find a Skyfield and one Pokemon? And let's see what happens. Does he have it or not? Blake is thinking, what do I do? We see a Lightning to the active, because it does have one retreat cost. And we'll see a Stardust going to discard the DC and own to Jose's turn. He has discarded one Puzzle Time, if I remember correctly. So there might be 3 left in his deck. I'm not sure what else. But there's an Enhanced Hammer that Jose is probably looking for the last turn. We'll see the Enhanced Hammer discard the DC off that Rayquaza. And we'll see a Team Flare Grant and a DC the active. And we'll see a Quake Punch. It doesn't do any damage, but it still makes it where Blake cannot play any of his item cards. Alright, but we see a Lightning Energy to the active. And we'll see another Stardust discarding another DC off that Toad. Wow, okay, so that's 2, 3, 4, and a Hex Maniac comes down as well. Alright, so you're going to discard the DCE. And the reason why I play the Hex Maniac, it makes it where Slowking cannot use his ability. We see a Super Scoop Up, picking up that Seismitoad. We see a VS Seeker for a Team Flare Gun. And we'll see another Quake Punch for nothing, but makes it where, once again, Blake cannot use item cards. But Blake, once again, has the DC in his hand. And we'll see another Stardust discarding that DCE. That is Jose's maybe 3rd DCE. I think maybe his 4th one. I think it's a start for sure, but we'll see. Let's see what Jose decides to do. We'll see a Slowking trying to use his ability, and I'm pretty sure that's another Tails. Wow, that is pretty crazy. But an Ultra Ball coming down, discarding a Hoopa and a Sycamore. Going to grab the Shebe, and let's see what happens. Jose's going to set up, drop to 5 cards, and let's see what's going to happen. All right, and wait for it. So, a Toad coming down, and okay, maybe it's okay. Alright, so I'm trying to see what's happening right now. Let's see. So we'll see Blake looking at, I'm not even sure whose turn it is right now. Is it Jose or Blake's turn? That's the big question. Did Jose pass with no energy on the Blake's side of the field, making it where he can't use Stardust? I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. What does Blake decide? I think it's Blake's turn. Jose must have passed, but Mega Turbo putting energy on that Mega Rayquaza, and let's see. Now Blake, this strategy can be. No, it can't be knocked out. The max the Toad can do is only 40 next turn. So let's see a VS Seeker from Blake. He could grab a Lysander, maybe? I'm not sure. Looks like we'll grab a Judge. It could put both players at 4 cards. Alright, so both players are going down to 4 cards. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright. What does Blake get? What does Jose get? And let's see, can Blake find an energy to knock out this Toad? Well, he needs a Skyfield and an energy. And let's see what happens. Does Blake find anything? We see a Skyfield coming down. And we see a Hoopa coming down. Going to use Scoundering. Going to search for 3 EX Pokemon. And let's see, what does he decide to get? Looks like he might only have 1 Pokemon in there. Looks like he's going to grab, wait for it, just a regular Rayquaza. But does Blake have an energy to knock out a Seismitoad this turn? That is the big question. We'll see a retreat from the Jirachi. Going to put that Rayquaza. Going to put a Rayquaza, DC to the active, and we'll see an Animal Break taking a knockout. Blake will go down to 2 prize cards. And on Jose's turn, let's see what happens. He could promote the Giratina and make it where he can't be hurt next turn. But we see a Slowking. Looks like it is another heads actually, discarding the DCE. Okay. Oh no, moving the DC from the Rayquaza to the Hoopa. We see a DC to the active. And we will see a Shebe go to set up for 6. Okay. And let's see a Muscle Man to the active. We'll see a Quake Punch 450. It will not knock out this regular Rayquaza, be up to 180. I think so. No. 100, yeah, 180 damage. But on Blake's turn, does he have another energy to take a knockout? We see a Shaman going to set up. Okay, does he find energy? And there's a DC to the active. Going to take a knockout on the Seismitoad EX. Alright, so on to game number 2. Oh, man, I don't even know how that really worked out. Oh, man, I don't know. Jose got very unlucky with those Crush Hammers. That's the real thing. He, like, flipped 4 Crush Hammers in a row that were all tails, which is bad. And then Slowking definitely didn't do no work. The Hex Maniac that one turn making it work couldn't work. And then when he did have a turn of using it, he did flip tails on that Jirachi. He did flip heads later on that Mega Rayquaza, but it was too late. This is definitely, like I said, a weird matchup. I'm not sure how this works out. I guess, Blake just having all the energy Niles with Stardust and the Zoroark is just really, really good against this deck. Oh, man. But we'll see what happens in game number 2. It's going to come down to, once again, can Jose flip some crushing hammerheads? If he got lucky there, he might have put this game in his way, because once he gets rid of Blake's energies, they are gone forever, except for the Mega Turbos. We know Blake does not play a puzzle time, or any puzzle times, to get back his energies, which is very crucial in this matchup, if for the most part. But we'll see Blake being able to survive, and we'll see Blake setting up. I think Jose has a mulligan draw. Alright, and I imagine Jose will go first. We see a Toad coming down. We'll see a Skyla going to search for an Ultra Ball. Blake starts with the Jirachi and the Rayquaza. Oh, man. But Skyla, once again, going to get the Ultra Ball. Going to discard a Team Flare Gun and a Sycamore. Probably getting out. Oh, okay. A Hoopa. Okay, a Hoopa searching out the Giratina Shaman. And maybe another Toad. Nope, just going to get the Giratina and the Shaman off the Hoopa. He is going to use Scoundering. And let's see what happens. So all those, Hoopa's going to come down. And going to put those guys down. Going to get the Double Dragon on the Giratina. And we'll see a pass on a Blake's turn. Now does Blake, oh man, Blake plays his Zoroark almost immediately. Discard that Double Dragon off that Giratina. We see a VS Seeker going back into, VS Seeker for the Zoroark, putting back into Blake's hand. We see a Mega Rayquaza, and that just ends his turn. Alright, on to Jose's turn. Let's see what happens. He has a Team Aqua Seeker base. Okay. We see a Shebe going to come down, drawn up to 2. Super Scoop Up. And, wait, take number 2. Let's see a Super Scoop Up. And it is a head. It's going to pick up that Hoopa. And let's see what Jose decides to do. Looks like he's deciding on a VS Seeker, maybe? I'm not sure if there's a really good supporter card in his discard pile. Oh, Skyla. So VS Seeker for Skyla, Ultra Ball, discarding the Hoopa and the Judge. Gonna grab maybe I'm not sure what he's gonna go for. A Slowpoke, there he goes. Because he needs to get the Slowking out to start moving energies off the active onto the bench, which is very good. So Slowpoke coming down. We see Shebe going to drop to 6. And I guess the big question is Jose's Slowking prize. But they receive Quake Punch for 30. But we know that Blake does have the I thought he had okay, I guess he's going for the DC. We know he has Zoroark in his hand, but I guess he's going to opt to put the DC on the active so that way it does not get hurt. And we see another Crush Hammer. Heads. Okay, so it looks like maybe it was double tails, actually. Looks like it must have been double tails. We see another Crush Hammer. Yeah, that must have been double tails. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, that must have been double tails. I saw him put down 2 Crush Hammers, flip twice, and it must have been both double tails. And we see another Crush Hammer. There we go. So finally a heads. And we see a Crush Hammer head. It's going to pick up the Shaman. Put a Fighting for Belt on the Giratina. Shaman setting up for 6 total. Okay. We see a double puzzle time. Get back a DCE and a Crushing Hammer. Okay. Oh, maybe not. Okay, a VS Seeker. Maybe. Hold on. Wait for it. Let's see what he decides to get. And, yep, DCE and, yep, DC and VS Seeker. DCT active. We see Quake Punch not do any damage. But can Blake find an energy? He does have another energy. Oh, my goodness. And we see a Shaman setting up for 6. And we'll see, once again, another Stardust discarding the energy off the active. Wow. Alright, on to Jose's turn. He has played 2 puzzle times already. So he only has 2 more left. And let's see what else does Jose have. He has a Double Dragon in his hand. Maybe he can put on the Giratina. Yep, we'll see a Double Dragon go to the Giratina. And now it's going to come down to, does Blake have a, what is it? Does he have a Lysander? But we'll see a Muscleman to the active. VS Seeker for Judge. Going to put Blake down to 4 cards. Or both players down to 4 cards. And let's see, can Blake find a Lysander, bring up the Giratina, and discard that Double Dragon energy? Alright, we see a pass on a Blake's turn. Let's see, does he have the Lysander? We see an Escape Rope. And let's see if Jose brings up the Slowpoke. Alright, Blake's going to send up the Shaman EX. He has a Lightning, DCE, Looks like we see a DC the active. Let's see a Sky Return for 30. We're going to promote that Mega Rayquaza. And on Jose's turn, we see a Trainer Smell. Going to grab the Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards. Going to get out the Shaman EX. And I imagine Jose is going to look for a Super Scoop Up or an AZ. Looks like we're going to see a Skyla. Going to grab an Escape Rope. Oh, okay. Yep, I forgot he has Escape Rope. We'll see Escape Rope. Send up the Jirachi. And we'll see a Chaos Wall knocking out this Jirachi. Alright, so that's pretty good for Jose. And on a Blake's turn, can he find anything or not? His hand is full of energy cards. He cannot put down special energies as well because he has been Chaos Willed. Alright. I think he ripped a sleeve. That's what we're seeing right now. We see some re-sleeving going on. But let's see what Blake does. We see a Lightning Energy to the active. Now, Blake cannot put down Stadium cards, Special Energies, or Tools because he has been Chaos Willed. We see an Ultra Ball discarding a Lightning and a DCE. Wow. Those are 2 cards. Not, really what you don't want to discard those cards, but I think Blake has to. He really doesn't have a choice. We see Hoopa come down, going to use Scoundrelling, maybe search for a Shaman. But he already has Shaman in his hand, so I'm not sure if he can search for Shaman. He could grab that Aegislash. I think he's eyeballing the Aegislash. And what he could do is retreat and, yeah, make it where Jose cannot hurt him. So I see an Aegislash Jolteon coming on down. It's going to come down to, does Blake have his, what is it? Does he have his Secret Dash in the deck or not? But see Shebe going to set up for 6. And we'll probably see retreat into the Aegislash, Mega Turbo, Lightning to the energy. Lightning to the active. Okay. We see maybe another Shaman. Judge gonna put both players at 4 cards. So no Hex Maniac this turn. So Jose is not in threat of being knocked out this turn. I don't think regardless he could be knocked out once again. Chaos Will makes it where he can't play a Stadium card. So Blake cannot put down a Skyfield. We see a switch into the Aegislash, which is great. He gets saves with energies off the Rayquaza. And on Jose's turn, we're going to see probably a Chaos Will. We'll see a DC to the side stone via Seeker. And for Hex Maniac, yes, Hex Maniac doing 110 damage. And on Blake's turn, he cannot use abilities, and that's why he got to hurt the Aegislash. Even though he has double Dragon Energies to the active, those are special energies, he can still hurt this Aegislash because he has you Hex Maniac. And let's see what Blake has. We'll see a Battle Presser, going to discard 3 cards out of his deck, and let's see what he goes for. Maybe he can try to Lysander up the Shamans, but we are going to see a AZ. So maybe what he'll do is via Seeker for the AZ. Going to pick the Aegislash into his hand. Maybe promote the Rayquaza. Wait, what? Okay, Sycamore discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. I'm not sure if that Jolteon had an energy, but if it didn't, I don't know how he retreated. But we'll just pretend like it did have an energy. So let's see a Chaos Wall. We see Shaman setting up. Unless he played another switch or something, I didn't see. But we'll see, okay, on the Blake's turn, let's see a Shaman setting up for 6. Jose did use Chaos Wall one more time. We see a Via Seeker, maybe for the Hex, for the AZ, okay. And we'll see a pass on Jose's turn, okay. We see a Crushing Hammer, looks like it's Tails, Lyson to bring up the Shaman, and we'll see a Chaos Wall for the knockout, alright. On to Blake's turn, can he find the Sacred Dash or not? He does promote the Jolteon. And let's see what happens. Will they catch it this time? I'm pretty sure Team Aqua Secret Base makes where Jolteon has 1 more energy to retreat. Maybe I just missed something last turn. But we see a Lysander bringing up the Shaman. And we'll see. Okay, they caught it this time. They caught it this time. I don't think last time they caught it. But that's okay. Well, let's see what Blake decides to do. He can't retreat this Jolteon. But if Jose cannot retreat the Shaman, Blake can then use his own Stadium cards. Alright, so let's see what Blake decides to do. He's already put a Lysander, so he can't play the AZ in his hand. And we'll see a pass on to Jose's turn. He does have his own AZ. Pick up that Shaman, and we'll see a Chaos Wheel for 110 damage. Alrighty, and let's see what happens. And AZ picking up that Jolteon. Going to promote the Aegislash. Okay. And let's see on the Jose's turn. Does Jose have any more VS Seekers left? That's the big question. If not, this Aegislash is going to sit there forever. We'll see a Trainer Smell look at the top 4 cards of his deck. Going to grab a Puzzle of Time. And does he have another puzzle in his hand? He has played 2 already, but there's double Puzzle Time. He could grab a VS Seeker and a VS Seeker. And what he could do is maybe Lysander and or Hex Maniac. He's going to Lysander, bring out the Shaman. He is going to do 110 damage. Taking a knockout. Yeah, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a Chaos Wheel for the knockout. And we're going to see Blake probably put the Aegislash. But I wonder if Jose has enough VS Seekers to take the game. I'm going to send the Aegislash. Okay. And let's see what Blake decides to do. Looks like he's playing Skyla. And let's see what he decides to get. Looks like he's going to grab a VS Seeker. He could VS Seeker the next turn. He can't use it this turn. I mean, he could, but he just can't use the Sword card he's going to grab. And let's see what Blake decides to do. VS Seeker. And which one will he go for is the big question. He's already played Skyla, so he can't play anymore. I don't know which one he grabbed. I'm not going to lie to you. Looks like we see a Battle Presser going to discard 3 cards out of his deck. Maybe just 1. Okay. And so 3 Skyfolds are being discarded. Oh, Blake gave up on trying to get his stadium out. Okay. So let's see what Jose decides to do. We'll see a pass on Jose's turn. He does have a VS Seeker in his hand. He could use either a Lyson or bring up the, I think that's a Hoopa, and hopefully get stuck in the active spot. But if Blake can use VS Seeker for AZ, that is not possible. We see an Ultra Ball from Jose going to discard a Sycamore and a Sycamore. And let's see, it looks like he's going to get nothing. Okay. And can Jose win this game or not? He does have VS Seeker in his hand. But like I said, if Blake did get a VS Seeker for an AZ, then Jose cannot win this game because that Pokemon would not be stuck in the active spot. And Jose does not have another VS Seeker to use a Hex Maniac again. He's in trouble. So VS Seeker for a Hex Maniac will use the Chaos Wall. On a Blake's turn, let's see what happens. What does he get? Does he have... looks like we'll see an AZ. Pick up the Aegislash. Going to promote the Rayquaza. And then probably retreat back into the Aegislash. That's what I would maybe do. But let's see what Blake decides to do. Yeah, I'm going to put down the Aegislash. I would retreat. Set up the Aegislash one more time to kind of tank. And on Jose's turn, let's see what happens. A Lightning Energy be attached. And does Jose... Nope, Jose's just going to exceed the game. His last VS Seeker was prized. But, I mean, that didn't really matter because Blake was just going to AZ, pick up a Pokemon. I guess, well, if Jose were to AZ up the Hoopa, or Lyson the Hoopa, Blake would just AZ back into his hand. Then maybe Jose could Lyson her again. But then I think Jose would have just decked out by then. I don't know, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. That was a weird match for sure. We saw Blake did take game number 1, but game number 2, Blake just kind of decked out Jose by using, you know, Stardust, Rosic, and discarding all of Jose's energies. So there we go. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. We did have that one hiccup where I'm not pretty sure I'm not 100% sure what happened, but when he AZ'd to pick up that Aegislash, instead of the Jolteon, they retreat. I don't think they caught the Team Lock or Secret Base. Neither player caught it, so I'm not really sure what would happen. I think Blake still would have been okay. I think he still would eventually just win the game by, you know, making where Jose can't take enough prize cards. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye.